YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we got another video here by Revsay Desu. Toxic English voice actors crash out after the strike has officially failed. Wow, this strike is actually very disappointing. As you guys know, this is a strike that was, I think, made in 2014. People which were voice actors, so that means English voice actors, that means people from America, were striking so that their union, because they wanted a union to be now involved in the companies that they work for, specifically Hoyoverse. Hoyoverse is the people that made Genshin Impact. So they wanted the union, which is SAG AFTRA, to be a part of Hoyoverse so that they can get protection rights and all of that. So unfortunately, the reason why it failed is because their strike was kind of a bit stupid. It's not that it was stupid. I understand why they did the strike, because they wanted AI protection laws for them. But at the same time, you know, you're kind of like a voice actor. You're kind of in an industry which is very easily replaceable. You can be replaced very easily. So as well, that's one factor. And another factor is Hoyoverse is a company in China and SAG AFTRA is a company in America. So already two companies that are in two different countries, union and a company, it's already a bit iffy. But yeah, like, this whole strike has been iffy. It has been crazy. It has been cringy. It has been very disappointing. I'm very disappointed in the anime community, in the English voice acting community, because of the way how they would hold themselves professionally. They didn't do it in a professional manner. They did things in the way of how Twitter, if you were Twitter crash out, they did that like how Twitter crash outs were doing it. And I was disappointed in that. They lacked professional integrity and professional, how to hold yourself in a professional way, because y'all at the end of the day are working for a company. But at the same time, you know, let's just see what happened in this video. Not really sad that the voice acting the strike failed. Unfortunately, strikes don't ever work unless there's mass destruction or whatever. But yeah, let's see what's happening. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and comment down below your guys' feelings about everything. Let's jump into the video.
Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So let's cut right to the chase. We have some big news involving the SAG AFTRA video game strike. It is over. It's finally come to an end.
Insane.
After nearly a year. And if you think the voice actors who are trying to use this to push their agenda were mad before,
they're mad now.
They are seething even harder now, knowing that their efforts have been in vain. In fact, they blew up.
I feel like, you know, as a voice actor, don't involve yourself in things like this, especially, you know, you're in a fragile industry, because remember, you're easily replaceable because you're a voice actor, bro. You're an independent contractor. You're not contracted to this company to work for years. You have a time period for you to work. So I think you need to be very fragile in this industry and just do your thing and bounce.
In their own face, and now they've caused a ton of damage to their reputation and the reputation of the English voice acting scene as a whole. And we're going to look at some of their crash outs on various social media platforms today. But before we get into that, let's just run through the timeline of events to get context here. So in July of 2024, SAG AFTRA, an American union for voice actors, they started a strike to try to get better deals with various video game companies. Now, complicating this was a group of voice actors from games like Genshin Impact, as well as Zenless Zone
and you know, the funny thing is, the people that were complicating this whole situation, you must understand that the people which were complicating this, they had benefits in order for them to make this kind of a thing. People don't go on strike for a union, especially if they don't get benefits from that union. They were getting benefits from the union, definitely.
And a few others, they joined in with their own quote-unquote strike. They tried to masquerade their boycott as a part of the overall strike, which would confuse people because they were also saying this was about AI protection, as well as trying to get better deals, and that they had to do this, and this was a part of the strike, and they had no choice. All those things would turn out to be greatly exaggerated. But around March of this year, one of the people who was boycotting was the voice actor for Kinish, and after not working for 6 months, lo and behold, he get replaced. And he was replaced by Jacob Takanashi.
So for me, okay, wait, let him
A
explain.
non-union voice actor living in Japan who had no obligation whatsoever to the union. And he was absolutely attacked. It was embarrassing to see the amount of his peers, mostly SAG AFTRA voice actors, just berating him nonstop. Here's an example of one of them.
Which is one... I got really disappointed with the Jacob Takanashi situation. This is when I actually first figured out that voice actors were actually striking, was what happened to Jacob Takanashi. So he basically replaced the guy that was on strike. The guy didn't want to work for 6 months. What do you think the company is going to do? They're going to replace you. So what made me disappointed is the fact that the people which were on strike were going up against Jacob Takanashi. And I'm like, guys, Jacob Takanashi is just another worker. He's going to work for many companies. If it's not him, it's going to be another person. The one thing which got me upset is don't go against another independent contractor. Go against the company. Who hired him? Hoyoverse hired him. So you should be fighting Hoyoverse on why did you guys do that and not oblige to what we want. You guys hire another person, but you don't want to accept what we want. That's the thing which got me frustrated of like, you guys must never go against another person that's exactly like you. Because what can Jacob Takanashi do? Nothing. He has to go get a job. That's the one thing which got me so confused. Of course, bro. If you guys are not working for 6 months, Jacob, a person like Jacob is going to take your position. You know?
Kaylee Mills, who we'll talk about later in this video, she's crashing out hard. She called him...
This is actually... Oh, yeah, I remember
diabolical.
this.
And all these other people said he was a clout chaser and that he was a scab and that he should be blacklisted from the industry.
Crazy, bro. How dare they say that? How dare you demise another person's professional career when all he did was him just take a role from another dude? Like, bro, disappointing.
It was really, really bad. Now, a lot of people saw these sorts of interactions.
Weird.
And they said, whoa, these people are bullies. Like, they might have been on board with the quote-unquote strike before because they're like, oh, they need these AI protections and, you know, they have to participate in this.
But now...
people started questioning the narrative. They started looking at...
it got weird. The people started questioning the narrative when they started seeing it get weird. It got weird. It's like, okay, wait. What are you guys actually trying to achieve? Okay, cool. We see you guys on strike, but what do you really want from this? Do you guys want to get more benefits? Do you want to monopolize the industry? Like, what do you really want to benefit? You know, if y'all are now shunning everybody that is trying to get a job, trust me, voice acting, me and you, a person that is watching right now, you could also voice act. It's not, the margin of entry is not that heavy. It's not something which you have to go to school for. The margin of entry, if you can get connections or whatever, boom, you're in the industry. That's the thing which got us like, whoa, like, why are these people acting this way as if this is like a deep it's not that deep. It's very easy to get, not easy, but it's very imaginable to get into, you know.
At these people and saying, wait a second, what they're saying doesn't really add up, and also they seem like really insufferable people. And it became very clear after various crash outs, especially this one from Corina, who is the former
Corina Bottega. Hopefully her videos are up on TikTok. Guys, if you guys got time, watch these videos. These are the most hilarious crash shots I've ever seen. This girl is so unhinged. She was a former voice actor of Paimon. She was very disappointing. Some of her views, some of the way she acted like a child, you know. A lack of professionalism. If you're in the industry like this, you need to have a certain, or any industry, there's a certain way to behave and there's a certain way to hold yourself professionally in an industry like this, which was so disappointing what Corina displayed.
Actress for Paimon and Genshin Impact, she made it very clear those supposed complaints about AI and the goal of that with these strikes was not the main focus.
Yes.
She made it very clear
it
in
was
her
it was monopolizing the industry. They wanted to monopolize everything so that everybody that's in the union can overtake the whole company, and they're the only people that are in the union. So, I mean, no, in the company for the voice acting, which are in the union. Oh, I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
Rants where she called YouTubers stupid and that basically all video game players aren't smart enough to understand how these strikes work. But she made it very, very clear this wasn't just about AI protections. It was about trying to get more companies to work with the union, which would make them more money.
Yeah.
And these sorts of concerns were confirmed in this video by a voice actor named Joe Zija, who made it very clear that when it comes to the AI concerns, Most of these concerns were already covered by various agreements these actors already had in place.
Oh.
And most importantly, he clarifies that these people from Genshin Impact and other Hoyoverse games, they weren't a part of the overall official strike. What they were doing was a voluntary boycott, what he calls a collective work refusal, where these voice actors just decided on their own that they weren't going to continue voicing characters for these games, and then they tried to masquerade it as a part of the official strike in order to intimidate people and try to get them to also remove their roles. And this was all with the intention of eventually getting some sort of a deal with Hoyoverse, which of course
more money
would not happen.
Yeah, no.
And this video
of course it won't happen, because it's like Hoyoverse is looking at y'all like, y'all want more money, y'all are crazy. We've had this same incident in my country, South Africa, where a big it was a TV show, a big TV show, the biggest TV show in South Africa. The people wanted more money, so the whole company organization, all the actors, they were like, yo, we want more money, we're not gonna work anymore. You know what the company did? They looked at them and they left. They're like, huh, you think you guys are gonna find more work? Y'all are all cut. You're gonna find new actors to take your guys' position. And that's what they did. And boom, that's what I bet Genshin Impact is gonna do. If you guys feel like you can do a better job than Hoyoverse, go create your own game. There's always another option like that. Go create your own game. Go create your own company. Like, these collective strikes, it works. If it worked, then good for them. They're going to get more money. But it's like, bro, them trying to hide it and be slick about it is very weird, you know?
Really the turning point, like the final nail in the coffin for the narrative, because people could tell with their common sense that a lot of these voice actors were unhinged lunatics and were pushing some sort of an agenda and using the strike to get their own sort of goals in place. But now you have an official, well-described confirmation of things that we already had a good idea about, but now know for sure. And that's when all the voice actors, they jumped ship. They left Twitter. It was a mass exodus. They all went to Blue Sky, which of course they did, because it's the biggest echo chamber
in the world.
On the internet. Yeah. They've just been continuing on to this day, relentlessly posting every waking minute of their day about this strike and about how persecuted they are and how all these YouTubers and other people on social media are so dumb and they don't understand anything. That's pretty much where that loud minority of voice actors have gone. And I do think they're the loud minority. There's plenty of voice actors who are being negatively affected by this while wanting to work and not being able to do so because of the union. One example of that is the Venti voice actress, who made it very clear in this response on TikTok that she wanted to continue voicing Venti, but she was receiving threatening letters from SAG AFTRA and basically prevented her from continuing on in the role. So there were people who wanted to work but were being stifled by SAG AFTRA. So it's not just...
Imagine you now stupid. You the idiot now trying to go for the cause of, okay, cool, I'm going to be in a union. But now since you're in a union, you can't work no more. That is crazy, bro. I feel sorry for them.
Every voice actor out there wants to participate in this collective work refusal. No, they're the loud minority, and unfortunately it's impacting other people who are not a part of it or don't want to be a part of whatever they're doing. And that leads us to today. It's over. The strike is over. What does that mean for these voice actors? Not much.
Nothing.
Doesn't seem like they really got anything they wanted, but there's been a lot of controversy and drama surrounding this entire situation. A lot of people look at this and say, what did you get out of this?
Nothing.
All you did was intimidate people into losing their jobs or turning down opportunities,
and how is that a benefit to you? Okay, now imagine, how do you benefit now, losing your jobs, losing everything because of a union? They want more money, they want to monopolize themselves in the industry. How is that a benefit now for you to be a part of a union? That's no more a benefit, bro. That's what makes it so weird of SAG AFTRA and all of that. This is where it's now becoming a bit more negative than it being positive, which makes it very upsetting for such a company like this, for them to do this to employees or people that are part of the industry, you know?
Straight up getting in their way, wedging between them and their opportunities. And you did all this and set back the reputation of the English voice acting scene. So far, I don't think it'll ever be fully fixed. Like, people have a very, very negative view of the English voice acting scene because of a couple handfuls of lunatics in the scene who tried to exploit this strike to get better deals for the union.
Yeah.
And they got exposed, and here we are. And they're going to sit here and pretend
as if
like this is exactly what they wanted.
No, it's not.
When clearly it is not. This was a failure. And this was covered somewhat in this video by Mujin. He talked about some leaked DMs from various people who were involved with the negotiation committee, trying to work with these voice actors and SAG AFTRA, trying to get a deal together with these studios. And there were several messages that a whistleblower provided to him where it shows, just to sum it up very briefly, it shows how arrogant these people are. And that shouldn't be surprising. They really think they're in control of everything.
They're
and
not.
the people on this negotiation committee, they didn't want things to end. They wanted to keep this strike going for as long as they could. That means people staying out of work for even more months.
No, the problem is with the strike continuing. Bro, it only continues so far to the point where people are not making money. Trust me, bro. In an industry like voice acting, you're easily replaced. Easily replaced. And that's the thing which I don't think these guys have an understanding of. Okay, you got the big role to play a voice actor in a specific role, but you're very easily replaced, bro. Like, contract work is so minuscule. You're not working for the company. The company hasn't hired you as an employee. You're an independent contractor just doing your job and excuse me. Doing your job and leaving after a certain time period, you know?
They don't really care. They just want to get their way. And also we're seeing some comments from people in this video where they're basically saying that they want to try to get companies to join in on a list of people not to hire. I think this was the most insane part.
Stupid.
A list of people not to hire. They want to send from the union to these companies, basically blacklisting what you would have to presume would be non-union actors.
That's it.
I mean, that is absolutely insane and illegal, by the way. But of course, knowing that their server has been infiltrated, that it's compromised, that someone's seeing their messages, what did they do in wake of Mujin's recent video? They're now trying to falsely report it. They're trying to mass report his video, knowing full well people are going to see this because the screenshots will be shared. They're trying to file privacy complaints on his video to get it taken down. Good luck with that. But it just shows they are very insecure. They're scared. And now the strike is over. They got nothing. Now they're just seething. That's all they can do is seethe on social media. And I guess in Discord servers as well. Now, not every voice actor had a negative reaction to his video. Jennifer Hale here, who is a voice actress, said transparency is good.
True.
I would assume referring to the fact that these messages got out there. And then she says, healing is most important. This has been an incredibly difficult and divisive time. There is much work to do to put our community and our industry back together. Wow. Seems like a very reasonable response to this. I wonder what the other voice actors who are trying to play a role in this collective work refusal have to say about it. Oh, here's Kaylee Mills again. Remember her from the beginning of the video when she was attacking Jacob Takanashi? Yeah, she had something to say right here. And oh, she got hit with another community note saying, you are enabling drama tubers and making people in your community feel unsafe, airing their frustrations while trying to navigate a really tough situation in a private space. I really hope you simply didn't understand how harmful this could be. You're hurting your community.
What?
The audacity.
Not even audacity, bro. I feel like, this is sometimes a lack of self-awareness, from Kaylee Mills. That, dude, you're lacking self-awareness. What you said, bro, transparency is very good. Transparency is, dude, so that people have an understanding. We don't want to have a lack of understanding. Imagine being a voice actor in 2025, bro. How scary that shit must be, bro. It's just very frustrating seeing all of these things.
The audacity of this woman who is going after Jacob Takanashi and getting on a very personal level, by the way. I'll show an example of that in a second. But going after people like him and trying to intimidate them into giving up their job. And then they turn around and say, you're hurting the community. And that you're making things unsafe for people.
Self-awareness.
I mean, it's absolutely insane. And also, I love that she's seething about drama tubers. That's so funny to me. Get ready to seethe some more today with this video. But you can see she got hit with a note saying Kaylee Mills talked about making the community.
One thing about drama tubers, I don't think these people understand. With drama tubers, you can't be a drama tuber and say false information. You can, but remember that impacts you as a drama tuber. If you're saying false information or you're spreading hate, it's going to affect you negatively. That's one thing which a lot of drama tubers that I've watched, not all of them, everybody kind of has different opinions, but at the same time, you can't have an opinion that is too far out. Otherwise, you'll be kind of low-key canceled, or people are going to feel some type of way about how you saying your certain things, and people are going to call you out. And that's one thing which people don't understand, with drama tubers also stand on a thin line. I don't know if you saw, for example, a big situation of Penguin Zero. He was talking massive crap about Logan Paul, and then when he saw Logan Paul, he was smiling, saying hello, all of that. But in the meantime, people were calling him out and saying when he sees these people in real life, he doesn't really care. I don't know, something like that. Yeah,
a safe space, but yet harassed Kanish's new voice actor, Jacob Takanashi, and supported an abuser, Chris Nyosi. These are not actions that someone would take if they're trying to make the community a safe space for everyone.
The one thing which I love about Twitter is the notes. These notes need to be in each and every single application. It should be on Facebook. It should be, community notes. Yeah, community notes. It should be on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I so wish Mark Zuckerberg starts introducing and implying community notes. It would be such a beautiful thing that they actually would add.
It's a different person who was accused of crimes, and she was the first one to proudly defend him, which, again, if you're talking about making the community safe, I don't think that's the best way of going about it. But like I said, the attacks on Jacob Takanashi were very rude and uncalled for and personal. This is a now deleted tweet that she made. Number one, saying it's okay for Karina, the voice actress for Paimon, to keep working with the company during the quote-unquote strike because she needs the money. And apparently a father doesn't need money or a job because they said so. But she also implies that Jacob Takanashi is not the breadwinner of the family, and that his wife, for all we know, is paying the bills. Like, what a ridiculous and unfounded thing to say. Obviously, trying to take a shot at him.
It's like, how the F do you know? Like, that's the one thing which I feel like, this whole voice acting, like, it's a lot of pocket watching, a lot of entitlement. Other people, I must work, but other people can't work because they're not a part of the union. How dare you say that? Like, as if a Chinese company gives a fuck about your American company union. That's the thing which I'm just like, dude, like, the one thing which I think the voice actors have really failed by is they failed to have transparency. They failed to be open. They failed to include other people in this industry or the conversation. I feel like they failed on having the conversation. On the one thing which I feel like they always did was talk down on people and enforce. Meanwhile, you're not supposed to enforce and talk down. You're supposed to have an open conversation, have transparency, see how everybody can have this thing. If I was these voice actors, invite the drama tubers, have conversations with them. Because, dude, it's an easy thing. You're telling me that you can't have a conversation. I'm not saying now we must go through our Twitter, because Twitter is bullshit. We all know that. But I'm saying there's a way to do all of these things. There's a professional manner. And that's the one thing which I feel like a lot of things were lacked in the strike, was professionalism. These people are working for companies. There's a professional way to do all of these things. You're not the first person that has striked in the world. A lot of people have striked. These people should have struck in a way that was professional, in a way that was respectful to everybody, and in a way that opened the conversation. There's a way to open the conversation where everybody can get included, and we start having a conversation from there so that we can figure out what we want, for everybody. That's
and
the
also
thing which
diminish his importance in the household and all this stuff. Totally gross behavior. But then again, if you look at how these voice actors are conducting themselves, this wasn't surprising at all. It's just a mask-off moment for a group of bullies, by the way. That's what they are. They want to bully people into submission and to basically force these people to give them what they want, and it didn't work out.
They cancel them.
But here's another interaction. This person saying, "You're not even a journalist. I'm so over this," referring to Mujin. This person says, "Yeah, you're so right. You need a corporate bootlicker with insane amounts of bias and motivation to not tell the truth, to be able to report on something. Very smart opinion." And then that previous user replies by saying, "Yeah, shut the F up. I'm asking why a gosh darn drama tuber is being trusted with information like this. Why him specifically? It doesn't make sense."
It's him because how the F is everybody supposed to know what's happening? Mujin honestly is just putting it out there so that everybody can see both sides. That's the one thing, transparency. I feel like, you know, like this type of mentality of them saying a bootlicker or whatever, using these slurs and these weird Twitter connotations kind of closes the whole conversation and makes it so weird where we don't have an understanding. I feel like the general population or general voice actor is trying to understand of like, okay, cool, how can we have a conversation about this? What are we trying to achieve? And as well, like this honestly what she's saying of why him, why should he tell us what to do? Yeah, he should. Every single person should have an opinion about this so that everybody can come to a conclusion of what's gonna happen next, especially if somebody that's a bystander that's seeing this whole VTuber striking. They need to also have a whole understanding of like, okay, cool, what's happening and how can we move forward to the next thing. I don't know. Like, yeah,
they're acting like these are top secret
nigga
government files or
bro.
something.
Meanwhile, it's voice acting. Music calling VTubing voice acting, like conversations, bro.
They're screenshots from Discord. Like, relax.
Bro.
And why are people like this so mad? Why are you so mad right now? Like,
doesn't make sense.
Why is Mujin or any YouTuber making a video about this stuff so upsetting? And the journalism comment,
it's weird, bro.
I'd rather
like,
be called
what is a journalist nowadays? Like, you get me?
Thing than a journalist. And you don't need to have a degree in journalism to understand these situations.
Yeah.
That's what the voice actors were trying to do.
Yeah.
They're trying to diminish any of the people talking about this, saying, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about because you can never understand the complexity of our world."
It's like, dude, you guys are doing voice acting. Even I can do voice acting. You can do voice acting. Anybody can do voice acting. You get me? If the circumstances are right, I'm not saying it's easy. I know it's hard and difficult, but anybody can do it. That's the one thing which I feel like they're not understanding. That even today I can wake up and say, okay, let me try to be a voice actor. Boom. I maybe make my own show up. Maybe do something. I'm now a freaking voice actor. You know?
But a lot of this just boils down to common sense. You look at the way people are acting, the things they're saying, and you start analyzing it just a little bit, and you realize what they're saying doesn't make sense, and also the way they're acting
doesn't make sense.
Is crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, okay, 1 + 1 is 2. This is a weird situation. Like, what the hell? What the hell?
You don't need to be a journalist to understand how to make those sorts of observations. But anyways, this was a giant mess, and I'm glad their strike is over.
Same.
Because now they have to go back to work. And, well, they create a very weird situation where people have been pitted against each other, and now they're going to have to see some of their colleagues that they are trying to shame into losing their jobs and try to work with them. And at the end of the day, too, a lot of products, a lot of games have been damaged because of this.
No.
For people who love the craft so much.
No. Stop capping, Rev. The products, it moves on. I can find some, bro, it's an easily replaceable position. People move on. Companies move on like this, guys. You don't understand. Like, if you in
multiple
a corporation,
characters they have muted audio, and they still have to replace those people and get the audio back because they're a part of the collective work refusal, which they try to masquerade as a strike. But we all now know that's a load of BS.
Yeah, it is bullshit.
But anyways, that's a situation for now.
Okay, you guys tell me how you guys feel about this whole situation. I kind of have said it all. Stupid situation from get-go. If, you know, I feel like transparency is the one thing which I feel like they lacked in this whole voice acting thing. SAG AFTRA, bro, like that's the one thing which I feel like, you know, something isn't right. That's the one thing which doesn't sit with everybody now. As a drama YouTuber, like for example, Revsay Desu, he's not talking about this because he doesn't want people to not know what's happening. He's talking about this because it's weird. You know, so something is not right. Something is not right. And I feel like for voice actors, for them to be we decide who should speak about this situation, lacks transparency. There should be open conversations. There should be a way to do this in a professional way, you know, and especially, you know, this is not okay. I'm out of words. Anyways, you guys tell me what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. See you guys.